Mr. Abdu, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Mr. Rodriguez, can you hear me? Excellent, thank you. John, it's 7 o'clock right now. Are we good to go? Welcome to the Lawrence City Council meeting. Today is Tuesday, February 2nd. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this public meeting of the Lawrence City Council for the City of Lawrence, Mass. is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance by members of the public will be permitted, but the public can listen and or view this meeting while in progress by use of the Facebook and YouTube web access provided in this agenda. Members of the public attending this meeting virtually will be allowed to make comments if they wish to do so during the portion of the hearings designated for public comment by use of the web and phone access provided below. And those ways are through the Lawrence City Council Facebook page, the Lawrence City Council YouTube page, and of course right here at this Zoom web address. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilor Arnold Levy. Noted. Councilor Jorge Gonzalez.
Present.
Councilor Selena Reyes. Councilor Selena Reyes. Noted. Councilor Abdul.
Present.
Councilor Pagano. Councilor Pagano. Noted. Councilor De La Cruz.
Present.
Councilor Rodriguez.
Present.
Councilor Vice President Estela Reyes.
Present.
Council President LaPlante.
Present. We have 6 members of present. We have a quorum. At this point, let's take a moment of silence. Thank you. And now would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands,
one nation,
one nation, under God,
justice for all.
liberty, justice for all.
Minutes for the City Council for January 19th, 2021. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Motion made by Mr. Abdu, seconded by Mr. Gonzalez. Any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Rodriguez.
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes.
Present.
Councilor De La Cruz.
Yes.
Councilor Pagano. Councilor Abdul.
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes. Councilor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes. The motion carries. At this point, we are going to have public participation. We're going to let everyone in for that purpose. Is there anyone who is currently in the meeting who wishes to participate in public participation? Please just raise your hand via Zoom.
Humayun Mali.
Mr. Miley, you've got tremendous some problems with the sound. Can you try one more time?
Good evening, honorable members. Humayun Mali. We are proud to welcome our great leader, honorable leader, Kendry Vasquez, our provisional mayor of our great city. Honorable leader Kendrick Vasquez has been loved and respected by our citizens. His devotion for service and help our citizens known to all of us. We welcome Honorable Kendrick Bass to be a great mayor for our citizens in this critical time in human history, that our fellow human and citizens are sick and dying. We demand of you support Lawrence Police Department and their union. There are some union contract for Lawrence police officers now. Lawrence Police Department in this hard time of the dreaded COVID-19 pandemic continue the best service for our citizens with the impeccable leadership of Honorable Chief Roy Bass. Lawrence Police moving forward while danger of infection and death everywhere. DPW workers are working so hard. We need to support them. Our public school with the impeccable leadership by Honorable Superintendent Cynthia Paris moving forward, taking every step necessary so education of our children complete. We support Honorable Cynthia Paris and Lawrence teacher. We are united to pray hard for safety and well-being our fellow human. God protect our city, our great Commonwealth, and our great nation. We are united to say contract for Lawrence Police now. We are proud as an immigrant city rise in support of Lawrence Police Department, brave firefighters, and our teachers. Lawrence always is strong, always unite. We are behind our Honorable Leader Vasquez. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mali. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak at this time? Public participation? Hearing none, the public participation segment of this meeting is now declared over. The name of Mr. Mali and his address will be sent to the city clerk for their files. At this point, City Council, I would like to see if we could take out of order the communications from the mayor, city officials, and city attorney, as we typically do when the mayor is going to give the state of the city address. We typically encourage the mayor or allow the mayor to speak near the beginning of the meeting, and we're doing that again tonight. Is there a motion to take off document 2021 out of order?
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Rodriguez, seconded by Vice President Reyes. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Ana Levy, Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes, Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano, Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, and I'm going to ask the clerk to, I believe that Councilor Selena Reyes is with us. She has some issues right there. Could you just ask if she's present, please?
Councilor Selena Reyes.
Yes, present.
Very good.
Thank you.
So we have Mayor Vasquez, welcome. This is your first State of the City address, and we welcome you here this evening. I'm unmuting you right now. We're eager to hear your comments this evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. President. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and congratulations on serving as president during this term. Also, congratulations to Madam Vice President Estela Reyes. I am certain that together we will be able to accomplish together for the city. Mr. President, before I actually begin the presentation for the state of the city, I wish to take this moment to essentially say thank you to all of the DPW workers, our Lawrence Police Department, Inspectional Services, and all of the contractors that were brought in by the city, for the great work that they have done to ensure that our roads are safe during this snowstorm. We had been anticipating 12 inches. We received 18 inches of snow. I think that they did a wonderful job. All the credit to them. But I also believe that we will need to continue doing more work over the next couple of hours into tomorrow morning. So I ask any residents to please make sure that you park properly, follow the winter parking ban, and because we will continue to tow vehicles tonight, unfortunately, as it is necessary to ensure that we do proper snow plowing operations. Thank you, Mr. President, for that. Now on to the official business for the state of the city. Good evening, Council President Mark LaPlante and fellow members of the City Council. Through you, good evening, Lawrence residents. I am humbled to come before you to present the state of the city. My tenure as mayor has been short, and I actually mean very short. I have been in office for 26 days. During this short period, my staff and I have hit the ground running. We found the city strong, but we are working to make it even stronger. We are strong in our determination in trying to be able to get the residents of Lawrence what they need in order to be successful. But by working together, we could be even stronger. Stronger in our commitment and efforts to combat COVID-19, stronger in supporting our residents, stronger in our commitment to supporting our small businesses. Councilors, I stand as the mayor of the city today, but keep in mind that I am one of you. And I look forward to continuing working closely with each of you, each member of this body, to ensure that our city will be stronger. This is a transition that many of us did not expect, including myself. But I rise to the challenge, and I hope that you will rise with me. COVID-19 continues to be one of our primary challenges. As we address this, we encourage residents to continue social distancing, wearing their mask, washing hands, and practicing good and safe habits. We will continue to test residents in our city, but we also launching vaccination efforts that are going to go in full effect. In order to receive a vaccine, currently a resident has to register online, and the process was very complicated. And you can see the challenge it has been not only for Lawrence residents, but statewide. In order to ensure that we break away from that technological gap that exists by registering online, here in the city of Lawrence, we have opened our own call center for registrations, and that begins tomorrow. We will have up to 30 individuals answering live phone calls from our residents in Spanish and English to ensure that all residents have access to a registration. The South Lawrence East School currently serves as a regional vaccination site for the Essex County. And in partnership with the Lawrence General Hospital, we are administering approximately 700 vaccines daily. However, our goal as a city is to open additional vaccination sites to ensure that all residents have access to it. Councilors, let's aim high and let's deliver strong. Let's administer 2,000 vaccines daily for our city residents. COVID has impacted the life of almost 17,000 people in Lawrence, and it has taken away 217 of our residents. As we continue to fight this deadly pandemic across our city, let's unite our efforts and be stronger than ever. To ensure that we maintain an open and transparent government, we have announced office hours in the mayor's office. We have opened a door policy every Friday, have continuous discussions with residents about their needs and priority with this administration. We have created open social media pages in the different platforms. I am here to listen. I am here to know their needs, but I also want you to know that I am here to hear about you and your priorities as a city councilor. During my first week as mayor, I answered countless of phone calls, emails, and met with many residents and business owners. Many of those conversations struck me, but there's one in particular that defined my first couple of days in this new role. I spoke to a business owner who was struggling financially, and he was actually trying to apply for a state grant in order to support his business. However, the application for this grant had one very small requirement, which he was not going to be able to meet in order to fulfill his application. It was going to take him almost a month and a half to do this, and the deadline was only within 3 days. Councilors, he needed a business certificate from the city of Lawrence. And yes, it was going to take him minimally 6 weeks to obtain it. And by that time, it was going to be too late. He would not have qualified for the funding. Immediately, my team and I got to work and streamlined this process. And I thank Esther from Economic Development for helping me achieve this, everyone in the city clerk's office and the different department heads who came together as one to ensure that now all businesses in the city of Lawrence are able to obtain this certificate online within 24 hours. What this tells you is that I am committed to making necessary changes to make our city stronger and support those that need me. We are working to ensure that we give support to our local economy. The small businesses are the backbone of our economy. We need to support them as much as possible. Before you tonight, you have a request from me asking for an appropriation transfer on the amount of $500,000 to support small businesses, which have previously not qualified for any type of financial assistance. Please look at it closely, and I respectfully ask that you vote in support of this request. We will continue to support the Restaurants Initiative program, provide opportunities to local restaurants that prepare a meal for COVID-19 positive patients. We have created a safety box, which will be available to residents and businesses to pay for their taxes and water services after hours to avoid any unnecessary fees for late payments. Councilors, I am very passionate about having a government that is committed not only to our residents in general, but also to their human rights and respect. For all employees, everyone. And for this reason, I am asking you for the support in approving the nomination of 9 residents to serve in the Human Rights Commission. This commission has not met in several years, and each of these individuals are eager to work tirelessly for our community. Please look at their application very closely. And when you're going through the interview process, you will find that they are individuals that are qualified and they love our city as much as you and I. Please seriously consider their nomination and give them an affirmative approval. Please note that I am also working in strengthening the Lawrence Cultural Council, and I am already looking to submit applications, hopefully for your next council agenda for consideration and approval. But there's many other boards and commissions that desperately need to have quorums. And as a result of that, I will be submitting names for you to consider. I promise to work with the City Council. And as a result of that, I have made an attempt to communicate with each of you. And so far I have met with the majority individually or spoken to you by phone. But I do hope to meet in person with those I have not had the opportunity to meet yet, or speak to the remaining 2 councilors I haven't had the chance to. Councilors, I urge us, please, let's talk. Let's do it for the city of Lawrence. I strongly and firmly believe that together we are stronger. Councilors, our city currently has a number of major capital projects that I am fully committed to ensuring we can complete or continue to work on. These projects include, but are not limited to, the following: fixing the Museum Square, which will begin construction next week, and a town hall will be scheduled with their residents for Thursday, February 5th, to discuss the process with them. And I invite you to join us in that conversation. That way you are fully aware of what will be happening. The reconstruction of the Oliver School, which you will be receiving documentation for review and approval over the next few weeks. The construction of a state-of-the-art police department headquarters, which I am very, very passionate about, and will do everything to ensure that it continues to run smooth. It will not be completed this year, we know that, but I want to ensure that during this transition phase that I am the mayor, it is a smooth process and we can give our Lawrence police officers a headquarters that they deserve. There are many other projects that I will be notifying you about, and I hope we can work together to ensure that those continue. Councilors, as each of you know, the city of Lawrence has the finest women and men working on behalf of our residents. I have had the great honor of meeting the majority of them as I visited most of the departments in person. It is important to highlight that a lot of these individuals are currently working in an acting capacity, and many have done so for many years, including, but not limited to, the following positions: Acting Economic and Business Development Director, the Acting City Engineer, Acting Water and Sewer Commissioner, Acting Department of Public Works Director, Acting City Clerk, Acting Assistant City Clerk for the Election Division, many others. I think it's time for us to seriously consider permanent appointments for these positions, especially for those individuals that have worked tirelessly and are committed to the city and our residents. Let's give them the opportunity to have a permanent appointment in the city. I will be reviewing their credentials, and trust me, if they continue to qualify, I will send the names, and I hope that you'll consider them as well. I am truly looking forward to all of the things we can accomplish together. I am excited for the future, and with collective action, community building, and serious work ethic, we in this city will be stronger. Thank you, Mr. President. May God bless the city of Lawrence and all of you. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you very much, Mayor Vasquez. We do appreciate, again, your dedication to our city, your willingness to take this position and to lead us for the remainder of this year, and it means a lot. And thank you for extending your hand out to us as partners and trying to lead our city. I think collectively we appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. We will now continue on with our agenda. We'll start off with some public hearings. First document is document number 15620, the one-way Sunset Avenue.
Yeah.
Present.
Is there somebody who wishes to speak?
Yes, for you, Mr. President.
Is that Mr.
Come on.
Rodriguez?
Yes. Do you want to do anything with 2021, the state of the city item? You want to withdraw, or do you want to keep it?
Typically it goes away, but if you want to make a motion, it would be in order. If you want to make a motion to withdraw document 2021, is there a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
And seconded properly by Councilor Selena Reyes. Any further discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Anna Levy, Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes, the motion carries. Now, for public hearings, document 15620, one-way Sunset Ave, put on the council agenda by Council President Kendra Vasquez. Clerk, please read the public hearing notice. Okay, I'm unmuting at this point because I think you're maybe stuck. Clerk Damaris Ruiz and also Assistant Clerk Burnell.
Yes, I'm getting it ready. Give me a second.
I have it. I'm sorry. I was reading it. I
Okay.
didn't realize you couldn't hear me.
Oh, sorry.
Eileen is muted again. Okay.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Yeah.
Sorry. I apologize. I was reading it and I didn't realize you couldn't hear me. But I'll read it again. Document number 156-20, notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021 at 7 p.m. in a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning the proposed amendment to the revised ordinances of the City of Lawrence, to further amend adding the following new paragraph to section 10.28.040 of the municipal code, one-way streets and alleys, reading Sunset Avenue from Saratoga Street to Lawrence Street in a southerly direction. To the extent that there exists any ordinances to the contrary, they are hereby repealed in that respect only. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Clerk. Is there anybody in the public who wishes to speak on this matter? Hearing none, I'll call the public hearing closed. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve and waive the 30 days.
Second.
Motion made by the Vice President, seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes properly. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano, Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy, and Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion carries. The next document is document 15720, one-way Stearns Ave. Again, this again put on by Council President Vasquez. The clerk, please read the public hearing notice.
Notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021 at 7 p.m. at a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning the proposed amendment to the revised ordinances of the City of Lawrence, to be further amended by adding the following new paragraph to section 10.28.040 of the Municipal Code, one-way streets and alleys, Stearns Avenue from Lawrence Street to Mayflower Street in a northerly direction. To the extent that there exists any ordinances to the contrary, they are hereby repealed in that respect only. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
The public hearing is now open. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to comment on this matter? Hearing none, the public comment period is now closed. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve and waive the 30 days.
Second.
Second.
Motion made by the Vice President, seconded by Mr. Gonzalez. Any discussion? Hearing none, the clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy, Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
and Council President LaPlante.
The chair votes yes. The motion carries. The next document is document 15820, parking 15 minutes at 110 Parker Street at the Esme Market, put on the City Council agenda by Councilor Selena Reyes. Clerk, please read the public hearing notice.
Notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021 at 7 p.m. at a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning the proposed amendment to the revised ordinances of the City of Lawrence, to be further amended by adding the following new paragraph to section 10.36.260 of the Municipal Code, 15-minute parking, to be inserted in the proper alphabetical order. Parker Street, east side, from a point 20 feet northerly of the intersection of Bailey Street to a point 40 feet northerly of the intersection of Bailey Street. To the extent that there exist any ordinances to the contrary, they are hereby repealed in that respect only. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Clerk. Is there anybody in the public who wishes to comment on this matter? The public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion to approve and waive the 30 days.
Second.
Motion made by the Council Vice President, seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Any discussion? I'm going to ask the Council Vice President, would she be willing to go ahead, and since this is in District F, and I realize my good friend and colleague, Councilor Reyes, has put this on, would she be willing to withdraw that 30-day requirement?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. A motion has been made. Any further discussion on this matter? Hearing now, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy. Noted. And Council President LaPlante.
Yes. And the motion carries. The next document is document number 17620, a stop sign at Loring Street. Northbound drivers on Loring Street and Market Street put on by, at that point, Council Vice President LaPlante, that was me. Will the clerk please read the public hearing notice?
Notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021 at 7 p.m. at a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning the proposed amendment to the revised ordinances of the City of Lawrence, to be further amended by adding the following new paragraphs to section 10.28.100A of the Municipal Code, stop signs and flashing red signals. The following paragraphs in their appropriate alphabetical order. Loring Street, northbound drivers on the Loring Street at Market Street. To the extent that there exist any ordinances to the contrary, they are hereby repealed in that respect only. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
The public hearing is now open. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on this matter? Seeing none, the public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve and waive the 30 days.
There is a
Second.
motion made by the Vice President, seconded by Selena Reyes, Councilor Selena Reyes, excuse me. Discussion? I will ask again, Madam Vice President, I put this on the agenda. Would you be willing to withdraw the 30-day emergency requirement?
Yes. So I'm
Thank you.
sorry. I got confused. I thought you want the 30 days. And the reason that I'm doing this is because it has been sitting in the agenda for such a long time. And so yes, I just take the motion to waive the 30 days. Not to waive the 30 days.
Correct. I appreciate that, Council Vice President. Any further discussion?
Council President,
Yes, Councilor Acting Clerk Brunel.
just, you are not waiving the 30 days, is that?
There is no waiving of the 30 days on 176, nor is there a waiving of the 30 days on 158.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any further discussion?
Council President,
Council Vice President, yes.
158, I made the motion to waive the 30 days.
I was my understanding that I asked if you could withdraw that, and I thought you said yes.
On the 158,
That's correct, on Parker Street.
well, but I'm getting a lot of phone calls from the applicants. Away with Councilor Selena Reyes, we've been getting calls, so.
So let's do this, Council Vice President. Let's take a vote on document 17620, and then let's revisit that 158 after we have the vote. If there's any further discussion on 176? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy. Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Chair, the president votes yes. Clerk Brunel, what is the reading that you have of document, or Clerk Ruiz, of document number 15820?
In my notes, Council President, I had written waive the 30 days because when I heard you, that is automatically what I thought you were saying. That's why I asked you to clarify it on the next document, because it seemed more like you were saying not to waive it on 176. So I did write down waive 30 days on 158, but it probably was an error because you had asked for the friendly amendment, which I misheard because I was presuming it was going to be to waive, which is typically what the friendly amendment is to do, but you were saying not to waive. You did ask for a friendly amendment on both documents.
Thank you very much. So, Council Vice President, there seems to be some discrepancy on that. There was a fundamental understanding of that. The vote can stand if you insist on having the vote as it currently is, with waiving the 30 days. I am not going to stand in that way. So is that what you want to continue doing, Council Vice
Yes.
President?
To waive, yes,
All right, nothing changes then on that vote. We will continue on. That 30-day has been waived on document 158. The next document is document number 19120, handicap parking at 69 Basswood Street. Clerk, please read the public hearing notice.
I'm gonna need 1 second. I apologize. I just closed my package to look at all the other stuff. Thank you. Notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021 at 7 p.m. at a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with the gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning the proposed amendment to the revised ordinances of the City of Lawrence to be further amended by adding the following new paragraph to section 10.36.340 of the municipal code, handicapped parking, to be inserted in the proper alphabetical order. Basswood Street, east side from a point 188 feet southerly of the intersection of Arlington Street to a point 208 feet southerly to the intersection of Arlington Street. To the extent that there exist any ordinances to the contrary, they are hereby repealed in that respect only. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Clerk. The public hearing is now open. Is there anybody in the public who wishes to speak? Hearing on the public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion on the floor?
motion to approve and waive the 30 days.
Motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by, made by Council Vice President Reyes, seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Any discussion on this matter? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy, noted, and Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion carries. The next document is document number 19420, handicap parking at 12 Willow Street. Clerk, will you please read the public hearing notice?
Notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021 at 7 p.m. at a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning the proposed amendment to the revised ordinances of the City of Lawrence to be further amended by adding the following new paragraph to section 10.36.340 of the municipal code, handicap parking, to be inserted in the proper alphabetical order. Willow Street, west side from a point 122 feet southerly of the intersection of Myrtle Street to a point 142 feet southerly of the intersection of Myrtle Street. To the extent that there exists any ordinances to the contrary, they are hereby repealed in that respect only. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
Thank you very much. The public hearing is now open. Is there anybody in the public who wishes to speak on this matter? Hearing on the public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion to approve and waive the 30 days.
Motion made.
Okay.
Motion made by Vice President Estela Reyes, seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy, noted, Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes. The motion carries. The next document is document 211, a redesignation of a bridge on South Union Street at South Broadway. It's a home rule petition. Clerk, will you please read the public hearing notice?
Yes, just for your edification and the council, these were published as a block because they were so similar. They did note that there were two different documents, though. It is documents 211 and 212, and it reads, notice is hereby given that the Lawrence City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021 at 7 p.m. at a public meeting conducted by electronic means with public viewing, listening, participation, and input provided remotely in compliance with public gathering limitations in effect. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning the proposed home rule petitions for the rededication of two bridges in the city of Lawrence. One is a bridge on South Union Street on South Broadway, spanning the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority railroad tracks in the city of Lawrence, to be redesignated and known as the Santo S. Nicolosi Memorial Bridge in memory of Santo S. Nicolosi and his many contributions to the city as the city engineer of the city of Lawrence. The Department of Highways shall erect suitable markers thereon and bearing said designation in compliance with the standards of the department. The second bridge is on South Union Street between Merrimack Street and Market Street, spanning the railroad tracks in the city of Lawrence, and shall be redesignated and known as the Joseph A. Turisi Memorial Bridge in memory of Joseph A. Turisi and his many contributions to the city of Lawrence. The Department of Highways shall erect suitable markers thereon, bearing said designation in compliance with the standards of said department. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity.
Because of the way it's read, it would be in order to have anybody speak on either one of these two matters. Is there anybody in the public who wishes to speak on this matter? Hearing none, the public comment period is now over. What is the pleasure of the body?
Motion to approve and waive the 30 days.
Motion made by the council vice president, seconded by Councilor Dela Cruz.
Quick question.
Discussion?
Yes,
Mr. Rodriguez.
yes, Mr. President. Just wondering about why two bridges and not just one?
Thank you very much. I did have a chance to speak to the author, who was former Mayor Dan Rivera, earlier regarding this. There has been a discussion made with the family of both the Turisi family and the Nicolosi family. Currently, the Nicolosi Bridge is nearest the woodworking place on Market Street. And because the Turisi family has owned that woodworking place now for nearly 100 years, it made some sense to make that the Turisi Bridge and switch over that bridge, which is now the Santo Nicolosi Bridge, over to where the Joseph Turisi Bridge is, which is right off of, which is right near Jay Bryan's on South Union and South Broadway, crosses over South Street. And so after the discussion with the family, it made some sense that that they would go ahead and make that alteration and just change the switch, essentially trade the names of the bridges off. And that's the one thing that the mayor wanted to do, Mayor Rivera wanted to do before he left, after getting, again, assurances from the family members that they were good with that change.
So essentially, it's swapping the name from one location to another location.
That is correct.
All right, no question, no more question.
What we're going to do, just to make this clean, we're going to have two different votes. We'll vote on 211 first, and then the same thing will be 212. So this is on 211. I think this is the Santo Nicolosi Bridge and that changing. Is there any further discussion on this one? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes,
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy, noted, and Council President LaPlante.
Yes. The next item is document 21220, the redesignation of the bridge on South Union Street and between Market and Merrimack Street. We will dispense of the public hearing notice reading of it because it was just read. However, we will open up the public hearing should anybody wish to speak on this matter. Hearing none, the public comment or public hearing on 21220 has been closed. Councilors, what is your pleasure?
Motion to approve and waive the 30 days.
Second.
Motion made by the Vice President, seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Any further discussion on this matter?
Yes, parliamentary question.
Councilor Rodriguez?
Yeah, we're voting on a home rule petition, correct?
We are.
Okay.
Which is an interesting question. Yes, it is. Again, this is an interesting question because I asked it of the city attorney earlier today. Was there a need to put a public hearing on this? And the city attorney said there is no need to have a public hearing on this matter. The council can and decided to have a public hearing, and that's why we had it. But something to consider in the future, whether or not we want to continue having public hearings. Doesn't mean we can't have public comment. We can still get that at a later notice if we come again. So we will cross that, literally a bridge, when we get to it. But at this point, if there's no further discussion, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll. Go ahead, clerk.
Councilor Levy, Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Council Estela Reyes,
Yes.
and Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion carries. Communications from mayor and city officials and city attorney has been taken care of. Number 3, appropriations, order, and resolutions. A resolution 1721, a resolution honoring Denise Murray put on the city council, identified by Councilor Giovanni Rodriguez, will go before the ordinance committee. The next document is document 2120, an appropriation transfer from free cash to economic development COVID account for $500,000 is going to be sent to the budget and finance committee. There is no committee reports in the budget and finance. Ordinance committee reports, document 3919, handicap parking. Which member is going to be given the committee reports on this?
Madam Chair, Vice Chair, do you want me to read the report or you want to do the report?
Go ahead, Madam Chair.
Okay, before we continue, Councilor President, is any way possible that we can order a public hearing for document 21-20 before we send it down to the budget and finances, since this is a urgent need for our community?
I need to relook at our rules again on that. Does the clerk have handy whether or not we do need to order a public hearing on a transfer? Let me look that up real quick. Why don't we do this, Madam Vice President? Why don't we're going to put that aside for right now. Let's deal with the committee reports and we'll get an answer whether or not we should do that, and we can come back and revisit it. So if you wouldn't mind giving the committee report on document 3919.
Thank you. I'm gonna be making a motion to take it as a block, since all the document except 188 is a handicap to order a public hearing. Motion to take document 39-19, document 40-19, document 42-19, and document 198-19. Take it as a block and order a public hearing. It come out with a favor recommendation from the ordinance committee, and I make that as a formal motion.
Second.
There's a motion to send 3940 and 4219 as a block and to order a public hearing. It has been seconded. I didn't see who seconded that.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Reyes. Any discussion on this matter? Council Vice President?
Yep. So the document, the 39, 40, and 42 is basically 3 handicap parking at the same building. We have been working with the applicants since in beginning of 2019. So when the petition or the applicants came in front of us and made the application, the city former engineer Milagro Puello, she denied just because they wanted it across the street, not the same side of the building. So the reason there is 3 is because they being charged from where they live if they have a handicap parking. So it's 3 in the same building, but it's going to be at the same side of the building, not across the street. Any question, Counselor? I know that sounds a little confused, but it has been sitting for almost 2 years.
Hearing none, there's going to be a public hearing ordered on this. I see Mr. Gonzalez with his hand up. Mr. Gonzalez, yes, sir.
Yes, we send it with a favor recommendation because like Ms. Reyes said, they've been on the agenda for too long and we need to approve that. Thank you.
Any further discussion on this matter? This is to order a public hearing. Hearing none, the clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy noted, and Council President LaPlante.
Chair votes yes. Motion carries. Regarding the point of parliamentary inquiry on document number 2120, a public hearing is not required for it. It is an appropriation transfer. It is not a loan order nor an ordinance. So they'll go to the Budget and Finance Committee and it will be treated like any other budget transfer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
The next document is document number 18820, 124, 126 Phillip Street, no parking, 7 to 8 a.m. and 3 to 4 p.m. Council Chair of the Ordinance Committee. What's the report on that, please?
It has been sent out with a favor recommendation with the time frame 7 a.m. through 8 a.m. and 3 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. It has been come out with the favor recommendation to order a public hearing, and I make that as a formal motion.
Second.
Motion made, and I'm not sure who seconded that.
Second.
Thank you. Seconded, made by Council Chair of Estela Reyes, seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Any discussion on this matter? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll. Order a public hearing.
Councilor Levy noted, Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Present.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
and Council President LaPlante.
Yes. The next item is document 19820. Chairman of the Ordinance Committee, what's the report on that, please?
And that was part of my block when I
Okay.
read the first one. We just want to confirm with the city clerk, if she has that as a part of my block motion to order a public hearing.
Yes, we did have that as part of your block motion, yes.
Thank you very much. The next item then will be document 22320, parking 30 minutes in, we do this, document number 22320. The Chair of the Ordinance Committee, what's the report on that, please?
And this document is 2 30-minute parking in front of 5 McFarland Court. And instead of 1 is 2. This is what I have for my report, Madam Vice Chair. Is that information that you have in your report? Is 2 30-minute space instead of 1?
Yes, that's what we have.
Okay, so we come out with favor recommendation to order a public hearing, and I make that as a formal motion.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
what we
There's a
did
motion
was,
on the table. Is there a second?
Second.
second.
Seconded by Mr. Payano. Discussion? Ms. Dela Cruz?
Yeah, I think, I don't remember clearly, but I think we ordered only 30 minutes, not 2 30 minutes, just 30 minutes.
Yes, Mr. President.
Councilor De La Cruz has the floor and is asking a question of the chair.
Yes.
So
And
The idea was to have 30 minutes, not 30 minutes, because 30 minutes will be 60 minutes.
no, two space, Councilor Vice Chair, two space of 30 minutes. It's not gonna be 60 minutes. It's two.
Or two space.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
So
Thank
is
you.
that clear, Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, I just have that, the information in front of me here, and the way that they work it out. So the police department sent the memo responding to 223 item. It says the request is for a 30 minutes parking at 5 McFarland Court. So it said, it's a little confusing because it said 2, but it's spelling the T-O, not the T-W-O. So that's probably the confusion there.
That's the misunderstanding, but it's two. This is what I have in my report. It's two space of 30 minutes.
And I think that they changed. Well, I don't know. Whatever. I'm voting in favor of it anyway. But I mean, I just wanted to make sure that because it says on the document there, correction from 20 minutes to 30 minutes, and 60 feet to 40 feet. But it's not saying that it's at 2 spaces. It's a change of the time for 1 space and change of the actual location from 60 feet to 40 feet.
Okay, so in that case, we can go with 1. If they need a second one, they can reapply. Because I don't want to change any measurement at this point.
Yeah, I think that's what Officer Cano sent over, and it was a slightly change on the dimension, and it was changed on the timing, 10 extra minutes, and reduce the distances.
Okay, so why we don't go with 1, as you say, because it might change or affect the measurement. So we're gonna go with 1.
Yep. So it's
So the one is to order 1 30-minute in front of, right? So with favor recommendation to make to order a public hearing, and I make that as a formal motion.
I second the motion.
So there's already a motion on the floor. The motion has been amended to have 1 particular space. And just to make it easier on our clerk, can you describe the space one more time for the notes?
Are you asking me or are you asking the?
I was going to ask the author of the motion. It's probably in the. Are we going to follow what the police report is suggesting?
So we are gonna go with 1 space for now. If the applicants need or find the needs of having 2 space, they can reapply for the second one. But as Councilor Rodriguez was saying, if we go for 2 and we have the measurement for 1, it might affect the measurement.
So yes, we're going with the police, the recommendation.
Okay, so the motion on the floor, it's been amended. It has been properly seconded. Any further discussion on the matter? And is the clerk clear on what this proposal is or what the public hearing should have? So there's no further discussion. Clerk, are we clear on what this public hearing notice should reflect?
I actually do have one question because there's a mark out in the notes. It does say South Pontoon Point 20 feet and from the northeast leave McFarland Court and Water Street traveling south 2 point. It does say 60 feet and then that's crossed out to 40 feet. So I presume that edit is wanted. That's what came out of the subcommittee? Was that one edit?
That's the edit according to the report.
Okay, then that's what we'll publish.
Okay, since there's no further discussion, I will call the question. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy, noted, and Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion carries. The next document is document number 22520, handicap parking. Chairwoman of the Ordinance Committee.
Councilor President, I'm gonna do the same. I'm just gonna make a motion to take document 225-20, 236-20, 239-20, and 224-20 as the block and to order a public hearing.
So
Second.
moved.
Seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy, noted. Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion carries and the public hearing is ordered. Next document is document number 26522, a National Grid petition. Will the chairwoman of the Ordinance Committee, please?
265 is a national grid petition for installation of underground facility, Methuen Street, pole number 3288, intersection of Applington Street and Methuen Street. I believe the applicants was present at the last ordinance meeting. It has been sent out with the favor recommendation to order a public hearing, and I make that as the formal motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Councilor De La Cruz. Any discussion on this matter? Hearing none, the clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy, noted, and Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion carries. The next document is document 27320, Chairwoman of the Ordinance Committee.
It's a one-way Willow Street. It has been sent out with the favor recommendation to order a public hearing pending that traffic study from the city engineer to order a public hearing. I make that as a formal motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy, noted. Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion carries. The last Ordinance Committee report is document number 28120,
274. 274.
27420.
It's a similar document, one-way exchange street, and both document has been put in the agenda by Councilor President Baskin and Councilor Selena Reyes to order a public hearing pending the traffic study from the city engineer to public hearing. I make that as a formal motion.
Second.
Motion made, I believe seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes. Any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy, noted, and Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion carries. Last item is document 28120, disclosure of municipal employee. Council Chair of the Ordinance Committee.
It's a disclosure by municipal employee Andres Russo. I don't think he's present, but my understanding that he was present at the last ordinance committee. I believe that he went over all the paper, looks to be in order. He wants to become a special police. So it came out with a favor recommendation, and I made that as a formal motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Mr. Gonzalez. Discussion.
Council President,
Council
would-
De La Cruz.
I would like to inform that Andres Russo is the person who has volunteered a lot in this community, and he has been dedicated a lot of his free time to serve the community and to serve as a volunteer in the police department. Then please take his name into consideration because he has already given of himself to the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else wish to speak on this matter? Councilor Gonzalez.
Like I say in the meeting, Mr. Russo is like my own son. I know him for a while. Well, he's a wonderful person in everything. And I recommend him. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Anybody else wish to speak on this matter? Hearing none, the clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy, noted. Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
and Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion carries.
Council President, remember that we're gonna void the 30 days on Mr. Russo's document 28120.
The Madam Vice President is the chair of the ordinance committee and the author of the amendment. There is a request to waive the 30 days. Do you accept that?
I will. Yes, I do.
Is there any objection to that by members of the council?
But I'm not quite clear or sure, but I don't think that we need to order a public hearing for a disclosure.
No public hearing is required, Madam Vice President. The question is do you want to eliminate the 30 days as part of your motion? I'm going to allow this to go forward if there's no objection by members. Is that what you wish, Council Vice President? Do you wish to waive the 30 days,
Yes.
Council Vice President?
Yes.
Okay. If there's no objection to that, the 30-day requirement, I'm looking at any councils who wish to object as part of that motion, is then part of the motion. All right. So move, the motion carries with the waiving of 30 days. Next is the Housing Committee reports document. First document is document 29019, the chairman of the Housing Committee, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, Mr. President, through you, the Housing Committee met and discussed a few items on the last agenda. Part of those items were as follows. Item 29019, which is the disposition declaration for a parcel that is located on 105-109 Springford Street. The tax map is 82, the lot is 30, and it was put together by our new assets officer, Angibel Moreta. And the committee discussed the item, and it was sent out to the full council without a recommendation. I would like to present this as a committee report for the full council discussion.
Second.
Committee report has been offered by the chairman, seconded by the vice president. Any discussion on the committee report approval, just the committee report? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Clerk, please call the roll.
So I do have a question before you call.
Madam Vice President?
Councilor Share of Housing. What it has been sent out with a no recommendation? Can you?
There was no issues with the item. We just wanted to make sure that the applicant was here with us. He wasn't at the Housing Committee, and Gibel and Mr. McCarthy present the item. and we were able to ask a few questions to the applicant, but he wasn't there. So Angibel is here with us, and I hope that the applicant is also on the line, that way we can ask the questions that we were looking for at the Housing Committee.
Thank you, Councilor. Thank you, Chair of the Housing. The reason that I asked that question is because without recommendation, I don't know if it was something that is have against of the city, or what was the purpose of no recommendation. Thank you.
Yeah, that was the reason. No, any issues in particular. It's just that we would like to ask him questions, and a few councilors have questions in regard to different things. Perhaps that he is a developer and he's looking forward to actually become a landlord, and that was some of the discussion that we have at that level. He's a local contractor.
President, if I can add something.
Thank you very much. So clerk, please call the roll.
Council
It's
President,
like a committee report.
Again, to remind the members of the council, this is simply the committee report.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
yes.
Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy noted, and Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion to accept the committee report has passed. Now, councilors, what is your motion?
Council President,
President, I would like to formally welcome Angibel to be the access officer. She's new to the city, I mean, at least in this position. And she's here with us tonight. But before we do that, I would like to present the motion to approve this item.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
I think that was seconded by the council vice president. Discussion, Councilor Chairman of the Housing Committee, Rodriguez, you have the floor.
This person that we are doing the disposition, it's a local contractor. And part of the information that we have is that he's going to be building a two-family house, a two-bedroom each, and on that location. Some of the questions we have is if we was going to sell it, if we was going to sell it to a person, home buyer, or homeowner occupied. But the answer to that was that he was going to become a landlord, since he's been building another property very close by. The actual price for the disposition was $90,000. The second next to the second bidder was 55,000, and the third one was 50,000. So the difference was significant. Both of the first bidders are developers, and both local, and the city decided to go with this person that offered $90,000 for the lot, and it's going to build a two-family house with a two-bedroom each.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez. Mr. Piano, your hand is raised, sir.
thank you, Council President. No, I would just like to add, in response to Madam Vice President's question on the last motion, that the resident in question, he made himself available to the members of the committee. I know I was reached out to. I believe the other committee members were reached out to as well, in order to answer whatever questions that he had.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak on document 290, the disposition declaration on Springfield Street?
Actually, I'm Ray Vasquez. So I'm the proposed buyer of the lot that the city's selling. So I'm available. I don't know if you guys have any questions. I just want to introduce myself. Available to answer anything you guys may have.
Thank you, Mr. Vasquez. Unless any councilors have questions.
I have a question, Council President.
Council De La Cruz.
Yes, are you planning to build 2 floors, or are you planning to build one house one apartment next to the other.
My original plan on the proposal was to do a side-by-side, just because it kind of just gives the tenants or future owners just more privacy. That's still kind of up in the air in the sense that I mean I have to work out the logistics with the site itself and how big the property can be.
Then I would like to give you a recommendation. We've been having issues when the houses are next to each other, that they are so close, it make it difficult for people to be independent.
Yep.
Then please take that into consideration when you're building, because we don't want family to be fighting, but that has been the situation here in the city of Lawrence. It's just a recommendation that I'm making to you.
Yeah,
Thank you for
much appreciated.
Any other comments by members of the council? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy, noted. Councilor Jorge Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Chair votes no. Document number 2, it passes. Document number 27220, Eversource gas easement. Chairman of the Housing Committee.
Yes, the housing committee discussed this item. It's an Eversource gas easement for 234 Common Street. Essentially, they would like to have some conduit going through the city property, and the housing committee asked the questions about the specifics of the project, including the full depth reconstruction once they finish, and in many other details about the construction. They agree upon having everything as existing currently. So with that said, Mr. President, I would like to make a motion to accept, or I would like to recommend the City Council to vote in favor of it. And I would like to make that as a motion.
Second.
Motion to accept the easement is made by the chairman, seconded by the vice president. Any discussion on the matter? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy, noted, and Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion carries. Document 621, a surplus declaration on Cross Street. Mr. Chairman of the Housing Committee.
Yes, as part of our discussion of the housing committee, excuse me, we discussed this item, and it was sent over with a favorable recommendation. And I would like to make that as a form of a motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion made by the chairman, seconded by the vice president. Any further discussion?
Just to clarify one little thing, Mr. President.
You got the floor, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much. This is just a surplus declaration. It's not a disposition. It's not a sale. Eventually, the city is looking forward to use the yard sale program that we have in the city of Lawrence to put it up for sale for one of their borders.
Very good. Anybody else wish to speak on this matter? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy, noted. Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Chair votes yes. Motion is passed. Document number 721, Chairman of the Housing Committee, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes. The housing committee also discussed this item. And this is in regard to a lot that is in between two properties. The intention was to sell it as a yard sale to one of the abutters, but instead the city have decided to go for a request for proposal. This is located at, this lot that the city owns is located at Genesis Street. The tax map is 117, lot 33. And I would like to offer a motion to declare this as a surplus.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by the Vice President. Any further discussion on the matter? Hearing none, the clerk, please call the roll.
Council Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy, noted, and Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Motion carries. That's it for the Housing Committee reports. The next items are withdrawals. Councilors, take a look at the withdrawals. Is there any objections to any one of these withdrawals by any members of the City Council? Very good. Is there a motion by any member of the council for the withdrawals?
Motion to
withdraw.
Second.
I'm not sure who made that motion. Can you say it again?
Maria de la Cruz.
Thank you. Councilor De La Cruz has made a motion to withdraw document 13720, or you want to accept all of them as a block, Councilor De La Cruz?
As the block.
There's a motion to take, is there a second to that motion?
second.
Seconded by Vice President Reyes. The motion is to withdraw document 13720, handicap parking at 345 South Broadway, 21320, parking restrictions corner of Nesmith and Ohio Ave, document 22220, handicap parking at 97 Oak Street, and 24320, handicap parking at 74 Bennington Street. Is there discussion on any of these matters? Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy, noted, Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
and Council President LaPlante.
Chair votes yes. Those documents are now withdrawn. Under table manners, councilors, I'm looking for a motion to take document number 15120 out of table manners. Is there a motion?
Motion to take document 151-20 out of table.
Second.
15120 has been taken and is seconded by Councilor Selena Reyes, and this is just for the convenience of you, councilors, is a request to amend the zoning ordinance per Mass General Laws, Section 40A, Section 5, the proposed planning industrial district. So there's a motion to take off the table. It has been properly seconded. Any discussion on the removal? This is just to take it off the table. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes?
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz?
Yes.
Councilor Pagano?
Yes.
Councilor Abdul?
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes?
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Councilor Levy, noted, and Council President LaPlante.
Chair votes yes. Councilors, this is a document that has been before the ordinance committee. It's been kicking around for some time. And it is time for it to have a public hearing on it. So I'm going to, I believe we may have already have, and I'm not sure about this. Clerk, in your notes, and I should have done this beforehand, do we have any evidence that there's been a public hearing already voted on for this matter?
I don't have the answer. I don't know if Eileen has it.
I do not believe we've had a public hearing on this. I know that Mr. McCarthy sent us some documentation saying that the council needed to order a public hearing, and not only a public hearing, but we have to have 2 public hearings because of the nature of the item.
Right.
But where he was just sending us those requests within the last couple of weeks, I do not believe that that has actually occurred in the past.
Yeah, so the question was whether we've already ordered a public hearing. Let's just make sure and I'll entertain a motion at this point to order a public hearing for our first meeting in March. Is there a motion to order a public hearing?
Motion to order public hearing on document 151-20.
There a second? Seconded by, I believe it was Counselor Selena Reyes. Was that right? Did you say that, Counselor Reyes? Okay,
Yes.
good. Any discussion on the motion to order a public hearing? Hearing none, clerk, I'll call the roll, please.
Councilor Levy, noted. Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
and Council President LaPlante.
Chair votes yes. Is there any other, the motion passes. Is there any other document or table matters anybody wish to take off the table tonight? Counselor Rodriguez?
What's the item? Next meeting, I'll take them up.
Okay, very good. We're now moving on to new business. Counselors, let's do this. We're just gonna go in order. We're gonna take one of them out tonight as an emergency. We'll get to that in a second. The first item is 1121, loading, unloading zone to support expansion of the revolving test kitchen intersection of Hampshire and Common Street, and that's going before the ordinance committee. 1221, the National Guard banner South Union Street at the Duck Bridge. That's being sent to the ordinance committee. Document 1321, National Guard banner of the Shawshene Park, put together by Council Selena Reyes and Council Vice President Stella Reyes. That is going to the ordinance committee. Document 1421, again, National Guard banner at Elm Street Park, again, co-sponsored by Councilor Selena Reyes and Councilor Vice President Stella Reyes, to the ordinance committee. Now, document 1521, authorization to expend grants of 2021, the Mass Save Municipal Partnership Grant from National Grid and Eversource. That's going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Next is document 1621, the SEIU Local 3 Inspectors Union Collective Bargaining Agreement approval. That is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Now, document 1821 is the authorization to expend grant funds, the MOVA grant funding allocation. Counselors, there is some immediacy to this. I am going to ask for a motion to suspend the rules and take this item up tonight. And then that will give us an opportunity to give a further explanation as to why this is being requested to have an emergency declaration on this. Is there a motion?
Motion to suspend the rule on document 1821.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Councilor De La Cruz. Any discussion on this? I guess. Okay, Mr. Payne.
Yes, Council President, can you explain? I know you said you would explain it after our vote, but I think it makes sense to hear it now.
That's fine. So I know we do have, I believe, Ms. Miller on the line, but I think I can handle this at this early part. So if I go astray, Ms. Miller, you will correct me. There is a federal grant that is due to expire by the end of this state fiscal year. It deals with deals with some relief and some assistance for those who are still suffering with some mental disabilities from the Merrimack Valley gas crisis. And because of the tight time frame, being able to spend this, get this thing up and out and completed by the end of this current fiscal year, June 30th, there seems to be a tremendous need to try to get this accelerated to be able to access and then spend the money to those in need. So that's the ballpark. And Ms. Miller, if we can get this through in this light, then the motion and we can move on with the discussion. Any further discussion on this matter, just to declare it an emergency to take it up this evening? Hearing none, the clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Levy, noted. Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Pagano,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Council President LaPlante.
Chair votes in the affirmative. Is there a motion to approve this evening? Second, and then we can have further discussion on this matter. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion made by Council Vice President Reyes. I think that was Councilor Selena Reyes.
Yes.
Yes, that was it. Okay, motion made and seconded. Discussion. Anybody wish to learn more about this? This is impacting, Ms. Miller, why don't you take the floor? Just give us a very broad overview, and if there's questions, members can ask.
Good evening, councilors. Alicia Miller, Mayor's Health Task Force, 39 Elm Street in Methuen. We were approached by the Massachusetts Office of Victims Assistance to do some work with the residents of South Lawrence, and some funds were appropriated to bring mental / behavioral health support for folks who might still be experiencing inklings of PTSD and anxiety around the explosions. We all remember what happened and some of the reaffirmations of some of the things that happened after. We've had on and off discussions about how to support the residents of South Lawrence. This funding came to us earlier this year, and we're just trying to move the processes along. We cannot enter into any kind of contractual arrangement with any of our behavioral health partners until we get the okay from you to spend the funds. So we're really looking to be able to, in the short period of time we have left, do all the contractual processes and get the services out to the residents in South Lawrence, understanding that since that we now have COVID dealing with. So any assistance that we can give in the mental / behavioral realm to the residents, we would love to be able to do that with these funds.
Thank you very much, Ms. Miller. Is there any members of the council who wish to maybe ask a question for clarification? Yeah, Mr. Piana.
Thank you, and thank you, Alicia, for that report. I think that this is something that's extremely needed, and there was a lot of people that were suffering from PTSD. If you could make sure you keep us informed, as to what we end up, how we ended up using this grant, and the individuals and families that we helped, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Will do.
Any further discussion on this matter? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll. This is to approve the expenditures of this grant. Clerk?
Yes. Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdu,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy noted, and Council President LaPlante.
Chair votes yes.
Thank you,
Motion-
councilors.
You're welcome. The motion carries. Thank you. Continuing on with the new business, document number 1921, authorization to expend grant funds of Mass DOT grant assurances is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Document number 2221, appointment of Kelvin Marino Garcia to the Planning Board of Appeals as a full voting member for 5-year term, is going to the Personnel Committee. And at this point, I am going to ask, you'll notice here shortly that there's dates on them. Does the clerk have a date on when that was submitted to the clerk's office?
Yes, January 28th.
So councilors, please make note of that. This one and the next two are January 28th submissions to the clerk's office. And the importance of that, of course, is we need to approve or take some action, regardless of where we go on it, within 30 days. And so that the date is important. So January 20th is the date on that. That's going to personnel. Document 2321, appointment of Jose Francisco Rosario to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a 3-year term. That again is sent to the city clerk on January 28th. That's going to the Personnel Committee. Document 2421, appointment of Roberto Fernandez to the Zoning Board of Appeals as a full-time member for a 3-year term. Again, submitted to the city clerk on January the 28th. That is going to the Personnel Committee. The document number 2521, appointment of Thomas E. Myers to the Lawrence Human Rights Commission, 3-year term, received at the clerk's office on January 28th, is going to the Personnel Committee. Document 2621, appointment of Jalen Youngblood, Lawrence Human Rights Commission, 3-year term, received in the city clerk's office on January 28th. That's going to the Personnel Committee. Document 2721, appointment of Sandra R. Edwards of the Lawrence Human Rights to the Lawrence Human Rights Commission, 3-year term. That was received at the clerk's office on January 28th. That is going to the Personnel Committee. Document 2821, the appointment of Pastor Jarvis Carmona of to the Lawrence Human Rights Commission, received at the city clerk's office on January 28th, Personnel Committee. Document 2921, the appointment of Wendy Luzon at the Lawrence Human Rights Commission, received by the clerk on January 28th. That's going to the Personnel Committee. Document 3021, appointment of Arlene Garcia to the Lawrence Human Rights Commission, received at the clerk's office on January 28th. That's going to the Personnel Committee. Document 3121, appointment of Michael Fernandez to the Lawrence Human Rights Commission, received in the clerk's office on January 28th. That is going to the Personnel Committee. Document 3221, appointment of Laura Michelle Santana to the Lawrence Human Rights Commission, that was received, as all of them have been, on January 28th. That is going to the Personnel Committee. And lastly, 3321, appointment of Francisco Paulino to the Lawrence Human Rights Commission, received in the city clerk's office on January 28th. That is going to the Personnel Committee. Let's get around folks and on committee meetings coming up. Ordinance Committee, when are you meeting next?
Ordinance Committee is going to be next Tuesday, February 9, 7 o'clock. If that works for everybody, one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Housing Committee?
If I might, Mr. President, I would like to propose a meeting for Monday, 6:30 before the personnel. And it's gonna be a quick meeting because it's just to approve a couple of minutes that the school department needs.
Housing on Monday. Personnel Committee?
So, Mr. President, I would request probably 2 meetings. We have 12 appointments sent down. If members were agreeable, I would suggest Monday after housing and possibly Wednesday or Thursday after either budget and finance or what happens on Thursday. So why don't I start by saying Monday after housing?
Okay. Vice Chair of the Budget Committee, Mr. Abdu, Budget Committee?
Wednesday.
Okay.
7 p.m.
Very good. Charter review is now complete, so we don't have to ask about that. Public safety, any meetings on the offing? Chairman of the Public Safety Committee, Mr. Payano?
Council President, there's nothing on the agenda. There are no meetings set.
Very good, thank you. Why don't you do me a favor, Mr. Payano? Just when you have something, just let me know. I don't have to go over there. So if you got something, just give me a tickler and we can ask that question of the budget at the end of the meeting. I think that is it for
Mr. President.
Mr. Abdu.
If I could, through you, if members are agreeable, could we do a second personnel meeting on Thursday, the 11th?
That
Or
works.
if there's a date that works for you, Madam Vice President?
Yes.
Pues, Councilor, do 3 meetings in next week?
That would be 2. That would be Monday and Thursday.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Very good. And before I go ahead, Mr. Abdu.
No, I just said thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to Madam Chair and Councilor De La Cruz.
You're welcome. And before I accept the motion to adjourn, I wanted to invite city councilors with the snowstorm that we just had in the last day or so. If any of you have an interest in partnering with me citywide on a project that I'm working on to help shovel some of the fire hydrants, get in touch with me. Let me know if you're interested in doing that, and I'll include you in what I'm trying to get accomplished to help out with fire hydrants in our city, especially after snowstorms that we just faced last night. So just reach out to me, call me, text me, email me. If you have an interest, then I can fill you in on the details. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Selena Reyes, seconded by Mr. Abdu. Hearing no discussion on the matter, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Estela Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilor De La Cruz,
Yes.
Councilor Payano,
Yes.
Councilor Abdul,
Yes.
Councilor Selena Reyes,
Yes.
Councilor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilor Levy, noted, and Council President LaPlante.
Yes. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night, and we will see you at the next meetings. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night,
Good
everyone.
night.
Good night.